and then if you want to watch it again or whatever, you can do that. So
Well, it'll be good for me too.
yeah, exactly. Okay, so I think it's recording. Okay, so and you guys can see my screen that says send out cards, right? Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for being here. I'm Paula Potter. I'm in the Kansas City area, and I work with Bev and others within Send Out Cards. And just to kind of give you a very quick background on myself, Lisa, so you'll have it, and Denise, if you can hear us, and anyone else later that is watching the recording. So kind of give you an idea of how I got started with this amazing service and system. I have been a consultant, a trainer. I've had my own business for probably 23 years, something like that, doing training and consulting for companies in the areas of leadership and team building. If you're familiar with something called DISC, D-I-S-C, different behavioral styles. I've worked with a lot of companies in that and the Myers-Briggs, helping them understand each other better. And about 14 years ago, I had a very good friend and a colleague that called me one day, and Kathy said, I've got this great tool that I think might help you stay in touch with your customers. And I was always one of those that really believed in the importance of writing thank you notes. I mean, my mom taught me to do that many years ago, but I just never quite got it done. Good intentions. I don't know if anyone else can relate to that or not, but you know, and in fact, I've got drawers full of old cards and things that I bought over the years, and note cards and everything, you know, just with the intention of writing a thank you note, and then I would forget about it, or I would write it and it would sit in the drawer because I didn't have a stamp or on my desk or whatever. And so that's what Send Out Cards allows you to do, is to really let someone know how much you care about them, appreciate them, if you want to thank them. And so I think it's just a really great tool that I've used to grow my other business. And we have a lot of people that use Send Out Cards that have built really referral-based businesses just by being able to stay in touch with their customers. And so that's what that's about. And you'll see how the system works here. And Bev, thank you for bringing the group together here. And Bev is a fairly new affiliate with us. And so I said, well, I'll be glad to kind of show you how I present Send Out Cards and the system, and to take a look at that. So I'm going to just throw some slides here, and then we can also go out into my account and look at that in just a little bit here. So you should be able,
Paula,
yeah.
just one other thing is, I encouraged everybody to feel free to ask questions.
Absolutely.
You know, if they have questions along, because that also helps me see maybe some of the more common questions.
Yep. Absolutely. So anytime, just stop me, and I'll try and stop us as we go as well, so that you have time to, you know, but please, you can put a chat in, just say, Lisa, just say, Paula, stop, I've got a question. So that's what I really want to be able to do, is to help you understand a little bit about how the system works. Now, you'll see on the screen now, there's like a little video thing here. There's actually a video that walks you through kind of some people talking about how they use Send Out Cards. I'm not showing that video here just because with the sound coming through, I wasn't quite sure how, but we can always send you the link to the video. And Bev, I'll show you where that is so that you can send them that. It's a real nice little, like under a 2-minute video that shows people that are using it and how it's helped them build their business. So it's a really nice little overview video. Now, the other thing I want to tell you is when I hit to go to the next screen here, what it's going to do, and Bev, I use a couple of different ways. If I'm sitting down in person with someone, I will actually take out my cell phone and show them how to send a card on my cell phone. And that is very, very easy to do. I'm going to show you the little automated version of this, just because getting my cell phone hooked up to show it on the screen here and all, I didn't want to add one more piece of technology in here, the way things are going with me today here. So I've got some slides, and when I put this next slide up, it's a very quick process. What I'm going to do, if you'll watch the screen, is show you how easy it is to send a card from your cell phone using the automated few slides that we have here. Does that make sense? Okay, so when I click on the next one, it's going to go pretty fast. I'm going to talk real fast to show you. But whether you have an iOS Apple phone or whether you have a Google Play Droid phone, we have a great app. And you want to make sure that, Bev, I'll show you how you can send them the link. And then you guys can send a card. And that way you'll be kind of coded to Bev, if you will. Because the way we get paid is like, if we're an affiliate program, and so if we see a good movie that we like, we want to share it with people and let them know, and this is a way that you can share this great tool. So all right, so let me show you how this is going to work. All right, so you'll see the little thank you. Look at the little yellow button where it is. Okay, so we can scroll in, find our different cards here. We're going to look at a thank you card. Notice the create in the upper right. This is like on your cell phone here. Down at the bottom, it tells you where you're at. You'll notice at the top we're at the front of the card. I'm going to click on the little pencil so I can type a message. Then I bring a template in and I say, oh, I want to use this one, just the plain template here. I'm going to add a photo, and I can add it from my cell phone. I can take it from my camera, whatever. Here are my phone pictures. I'm going to select the one I want. It loads it on the front of the card. Now you can see I'm on the inside bottom. I'm clicking on the little add to text. I type my message in, and then now I'm going to go to the little arrow in the upper right where it says the back of the card. I can add my contact here. If I have my contacts in my system, I just select the one, or I can put a new contact in, and it selects them. Now, luckily, I have a breather here before I have to. That was fast. I can add a gift. We have tons of gifts, and I'll show you some of the gifts here in just a little bit so you can see that too. I could add a gift right from my cell phone, and Send Out Cards will grab the gift, it will package it, it will add it to the real card that's going to go out. It packages it up and sends that gift in the mail. And then a few days later, they're going to get the card on top of a really nice gift. Or you can just send a card. It doesn't matter here. So you'll notice here where it has Brian Spencer and family. If I didn't have the person, like at the golf luncheon today, I was sitting next to a couple of people I didn't know. We got to talking. I took their picture right there with my smartphone and then showed them how easy it was to add that onto the front of the card, just like we did here in this little demo. I then added their contact information, and then notice it's a 2-panel card, and we went pretty fast, but we also can do postcards. We can do flat panel cards, which is the same of a 5x7 card that comes in an envelope real nice. I use flat panels sometimes. We have a 3-panel card. I should have had a card example to show you here. A 3-panel card that opens up, and I can put more information in if I want to. I use that like for my Christmas cards and stuff where I put some text in. And then we have big cards, which are 8.5x11 cards. And those are really cool if you want to make a real difference and send that out in a special way. I mean, we have people that success stories of people that have gotten job interviews because they put their resume on a big card and put that in the mail and said, I'd really love to talk with you. And so I'm sorry.
Good. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool. It doesn't guarantee somebody will get the job, but it almost guarantees they'll at least get in the door because it's so unusual and people love that. We have a big card. Well, we have lots of cards in our card catalog. I'll show you those, but one that says, I owe you a big thank you. And if you're really in the doghouse with someone, send them a big card. So that's kind of cool. So, okay, so then once I've done this, then I'll show you the continuing process here. I'm going to click again, and it goes back into the little automated thing. Notice it says submit here. Notice the free word here, and it says success, your order has been submitted. The reason why it said free is because depending upon the account that you have, as an example, I have an account where I pay a monthly flat fee, and then all the cards that I want to send, what we call our heartfelt cards, I'll explain that a little bit later, those all go for free, postage included, anywhere in the world. And so I'll talk to you about that in just a minute. And then so it comes back and you get that message that says your order has been submitted. So what happens is all of the cards that are being created today, like the one I created at lunch for the couple of people that were sitting next to me that were in my foursome, then all those cards are queued up, and after about midnight tonight, and I always tell people, that plays out, that's true except around the holidays. Around the holidays, we do multiple runs during the day, because in the normal day we might do 40 to 50,000 cards in a day. When you get around the holidays, we're doing 500,000 cards a day. So I tell people, if you need to make an edit to your card, most of the time you have up until 10, 11 midnight tonight to make that edit. It's kind of in a queue where you can go in and edit it. But at the holidays, you better, if you need to make a change, you need to do it fast, because those multiple runs are going out and you don't know when they're going to go out. So, so the cards after midnight tonight are printed, stuffed, printed and scored, folded, stuffed, and then stamped, and then tomorrow morning bright and early they're taken to the Postal Service. And Send Out Cards is the #1 purchaser of first-class stamps in the United States. So that's pretty cool. So we are helping to keep the Postal Service in business here. So Lisa, questions on what I just showed you so far?
No, I think the question real quick was your fonts, and I just see it right there on your phone. You seem to have different thank you formats and things. It's just not one or two.
Yes, absolutely. And when I bring up my account, I'll show you that in just a little bit, where you can kind of look at the fonts and that. So yeah, great question. And just stop me.
Well, and I was just going to say, Lisa's received a couple of cards from me.
Oh,
so,
awesome.
That's how easy they were to put together. It actually takes me more time to find the picture that I want than it does to do the card.
Yeah.
But it was wonderful to receive that, truly. I thought it was so different. And and it was special that we received it in the mail versus, your phones and your thank you and your emails. That's constant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, that's true. No. Go ahead.
I think it is just unique, and especially in today's world where everything is so digital, when you get a real tangible touch, it makes a big difference.
It does.
And I had, I could share story after story, but just one quick one. I had a customer that I'd never met. They had purchased a lot of DISC assessments from us over the years, and I talked to her on the phone many times, but we'd never met in person. And I found out that she and a couple of her colleagues were going to be at a big event in it was down in Florida somewhere, in Disney World in Orlando. And this was back a few years ago, and there was an organization I belonged to, so the annual conference was down there, and I found out that Kim was going to be there, and I said, I'd love to take you to dinner. And she said, well, that would be great. I've got 2 colleagues coming with me. Can they come along? And I said, sure. So we went out to dinner, and I, of course, took a picture and created a nice card and sent that to them afterwards. And then, and Kim was a part of a large organization, so I dealt with several people in that company. And so Kim had moved on, and I kind of had lost track of her. It was kind of back before I was doing a lot on LinkedIn and things. But one day I found her on LinkedIn. So this is like fast forward, 3 or 4 years after that. And she had moved to another company. And so we reconnected. And so I called her one day and I said, hey, Kim, it's Paula. I said, I don't know if you remember me or not. I took you guys to dinner. And she said, oh, yeah. She said, I've got my card on your card on my desk. And that was like 3 or 4 years later, and she'd moved to another company. So
awesome.
Yeah, when people have a picture of themselves on a card, they will hang on to it, So kind of a cool thing. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. So, and I'm going to show you, actually, I think what I'll do is go out right now and show you my system. And I should have had this pulled up. I was struggling with getting all of the technology things going. So let me see if I can bring up my Send Out Cards account here and show you that just a little bit so you can see that. Okay, are you guys seeing my screen here now?
Sure.
Okay, good. Yeah. All right. So what I was talking about, where we've got, different cards that are queued up. So if I go to card history, whoops, here we go. So this is the card that I created when I was sitting with these two ladies at lunch today. So this was a template of a card. So all I did was I picked this template, and then I threw this picture on, and then if you scroll down here, I said, "Hi, Rhonda and Melanie. It was so much fun to play golf with you today. Have a great rest of your summer." And so this is my handwriting font. That's what you asked about, Lisa. And we have many, many different fonts available. And then I just grabbed my own signature, because you can put your signatures, and I have probably 12 different signatures in my account. And then on the back of the card, I created kind of a fun custom back. You can create all kinds of backs. And so this says, "In my happy place," and then it has me in the mountains, or not mountains, but the Red Rocks of Sedona, which I love there. And then if I wanted to resend that card, I could resend that to someone else right now, and that. Whoop, what was that? Oh, I heard something. Oh, it's my notification. Tea with Dave.
Oh,
Scared me. It was like, oh my gosh, what was that? Okay, so that's an example of that. Here's an example of a card that I sent a couple days ago with a realtor that I met with that became a customer of mine. I said, I found this picture on her website, and just created this card. It says, "Let me help you find the home of your dreams." And then this is a different font that I used. "Hi, Carrie. I apologize for being so late and getting this sent to you. I took off for my trip to Dallas and have been digging out since I got back Sunday. This is just a fun card. Look at the back for an example of the branding we can do. I can help you with this. Let's catch up soon." And so this is a person that is a Keller Williams real estate agent. And so this is just a fun little custom back that I created for her very easily. And so she liked that, and she said, "I want to be a customer of yours." And so, I create a lot of cards. We talk about 3 different kinds of cards. And the reason this is important, Lisa, and Denise, I'm sure Denise is still on. Can you hear us?
I can, yes.
Oh, now we hear you, Denise.
We can't see you, but as long as you can hear us, you can, right?
Oh, she may be naked. She said she didn't turn her camera on.
I'm picturing you. No, I'm teasing. We always tell people to do that when you're speaking in front of a group here.
Denise is my sister-in-law, so she's used to me.
All right, Denise, do you have any questions right now?
No, I'm fine, thanks.
Okay, all right, great. Well, we talk about 3 ways to send cards, and the reason why I'm telling you this now is because all of our pricing is based on the 3 different ways to send cards, and I'll show you some examples of each of those. And I've got a slide on that. We'll go back to the slides in a little bit here. But the first way is what we call our heartfelt cards. And our founder and CEO, Cody Bateman, is an incredible man. And the reason why we really talk about heartfelt cards is because that's the most powerful kind of card you can send. That's the card, it's a one-off card that you create special for a person, and you send it immediately to them. And that's where I do a lot of heartfelt cards, like the one for the golf women today. And I have a few others that I'm going to send yet today based on the golf tournament. I was on the committee, and our leader, Tina, was incredible, and I want to send her a heartfelt card just for what a great job she did for organizing us all, that kind of stuff. My neighbor across the street, she plays golf on the same league, and so I'm going to send a heartfelt card to BJ because this is more information than you want to know. But when I left this morning, I was in a hurry, and I kept telling everyone, make sure you bring lots of cash. I don't know if you guys play golf or not, but we have all these different, in a tournament, you buy what we call mulligans that you can use to kind of like when you mess up, you can read like a redo, if you will.
Oh, I would need a lot of cash.
Yeah. And we have raffle tickets you can buy and all of that. And I kept telling everyone, make sure you tell everyone to bring cash. Well, who went off without any cash this morning?
Oh, no.
And I had to be there at 6:15 this morning. So then I'm like, oh no, what do I do? And so I had to borrow cash from my neighbor. So I'm going to send a heartfelt card to BJ and thank her for loaning me some cash. So that's one way. And the reason why the heartfelt cards, I didn't finish my story. So Cody, when he was 23 years old, he and his wife were getting in their car. They were moving from Salt Lake City where they lived, and he had just taken a marketing job fresh out of college. He had his little baby daughter Whitney in the car with him and his wife Jody. They were going across the country to start their new life together in New Jersey. He'd taken a job in New York City, and so they had this little apartment in New Jersey. And they went by to say goodbye to his family, and he saw his older brother Chris off in the distance, and Chris was like a mentor to him. Oh, I always tear up when I tell this story. And he saw Chris off in the distance, and he had this really strong prompting. He needed to go tell his brother Chris that he loved him and give him a hug. And Cody was 23. Their family wasn't huggy-feely at that time. And he thought, well, that's a strange thing. He just kind of dismissed it. And he honked and waved at his brother, and off they went. And about 3 months later, when they were in this small little apartment in New Jersey, very early, late night, early morning kind of a thing with the time change, he got the phone rang, and that was before cell phones. This is a long time ago. And, when you get a call at 3 in the morning on your landline, that's scary. I mean, it's never good news. And so he answered the phone, and his mom was on the other end tearfully telling him that his brother had been electrocuted in a job that day. And, all he could think about was that he ignored a prompting to tell his brother he loved him. And that was when, sorry, I think I'm just tired from no sleep.
Cheering up too, though. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And that was when the idea for Send Out Cards was born. He wanted to give people a way to quickly act on their promptings, so that when somebody comes into your mind, there's a reason why, and you need to act on that and call them, text them, send them a card, go see them, whatever, but you need to act on that prompting. And so that's the heart and soul behind Send Out Cards, and that's why we talk about the heartfelt cards, those one-off cards that you send immediately. So that'll make more sense to you in a little bit. So that's the first way. Then we have what we call group sends, and a group send is a card that you want to send to a lot of people at once. So as an example, I have a group send card that I send. It's a late birthday card. So because, again, sometimes I'm not always on time with my cards. So here's an example. I love this one. I am late with this card because I was lazy. I completely forgot I was busy saving the world. So every once in a while I'll go through, I can search my system, and it'll bring up birthdays, for, let's say, a 2-week period that's already passed if I'm late, which I am sometimes. And then I'll bring it up and I'll go, okay, I want to send immediately this card to my group of birthdays from May 15th to May 30th as an example. And then I can get up to speed on my birthday cards. And what's cool about it is that I've set up this so it will insert the name. So, hi, April. Even with my efforts to save the world, I apologize for missing your very special day. I hope it was a great one and that you can call me. You will cut me some slack for missing your birthday. May this next year be filled with love, laughter, good health, and prosperity. Happy birthday, April. And so then I send them that card, and then I put a separate custom back on it. But that's a group send. Or another example of a group send might be, when you send all of your holiday cards out, your Christmas cards, you queue them up and you want them to go on December the 10th or whatever. Or you're doing an open house, or you're announcing, a new business, or whatever it might be. That could be an example of a group send. So you guys with me on that so far?
Yes.
Okay. Then we have, and I don't know if I'll show you an example of that. Here's our, this is our card catalog, and you can do photo card drops where we have templates and you just drop a photo onto it, like the one at lunch today. There was a template, You Rock. A catalog, we have hundreds and well, actually thousands of cards in our catalog. And if I go to my catalog, I've got different categories. So if I'm looking for a, let's say, Just Because card, I can come down here, and if I want to, I think this is kind of a cute one. It says, You Are My Sunshine. Now you'll notice it says $1.75. Ignore that for right now because it totally depends on what system, what package, or yeah, which package you're on. But if I wanted to send this card, this is kind of cool, Bev. I don't know if you know this, but if you see these little things down here, notice the orange is highlighted now. If I click on this teal, then it just changes it to teal. So some of them have those options. And then if I want to customize this card, you'll notice that here's where I could select a flat card, excuse me, a 2-panel, 3-panel big card, postcard. And then I've got a standard card or a satin, pearl I can upgrade. Sometimes there's a little bit of an upgrade charge for a different paper type or a big card, that kind of thing. But if I click next on this, just show you how easy this is to do, then I can click on here, I can go to my cameras, and if I want to pull a picture of someone, I can throw that picture on it. And then this is right, you know, out of, actually I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna put this on my son. So there's my gorgeous son, my oldest one. And then if I want to, then all I have to do, I can put more pictures on here. So I click on this, and then it gives me different templates if I want to do that. I'm just going to leave that for right now. I'm going to click here, and I'm going to say, Joel, thank you for being such an awesome son. And he's also the father of my little grandbaby. Yeah. So I love that. All right, and then if I wanted to change how this looks, here's where I can select different fonts. We have a ton of different fonts in here. And if I want to make the size bigger, I can do that. If I want to left justify, I can, or center or whatever, if I want to change. So you can kind of see how easy it is to be able to do this. And then this is where if I come down here and scroll down where it says insert signature, I have lots of different signatures. Whoops. So I actually even have one that is mom. So I can put that there, and then I can make that bigger, and you know, I can, so I'm just kind of showing you a few little things right now, but that's how I can do that. And then I come over here, and if I didn't want that back on it, I click on that, and then I can come to the layouts that I've created on my backs, and they're really easy to create. I can kind of show you that later. But, you know, oh, it doesn't matter if I wanted to put, oh, it doesn't really matter. I don't have a good back with him on it, but you can kind of see here some of the ones. I'll just throw that one on the back of it for right now. He'll think that's kind of weird, but you know, if I wanted to do that. And then I can hit next and go through here. You Are My Sunshine. There's the front of the card. I could add, oh, let me show you gifts just for fun so you can kind of see what's available. And I just sent him this mug, actually, this one here. So I'm not going to send him that one again. But if I wanted to, I can come down here, and we just have a ton of gifts. If I want to come down and look at these, I can search by different types of gifts and that. If I wanted to come up here, one of our most popular gifts, people love these, are brownies. And if I wanted to include a 2-pack of brownies in there for it, I could do that and add the gift in. And there's the card. Here's the gift. I'm going to go in and add recipients here, and I'm going to load him in. And whoops. And bring him up, and there he is. And it's going to autofill. And now I've got his address there. and I hit ready to send, and it's going to tell me, okay, my card is free because I'm on that special plan where I pay a certain flat fee a month, and I can have as many cards as I want of the heartfelt cards, and I'll explain that. It adds the 2-pack of brownies, and I get a nice discount on that. And then I hit send, and now that card is on its way. So that's how easy that is to do. Questions so far? Okay.
Don't ask the question, why haven't you gotten any brownies, Lisa? Because you haven't gotten any.
There's attached to those cards.
Well, also received, I know at least one card, maybe more from me, but you haven't gotten any brownies either, Denise.
Oh.
Okay, well, you don't have to send brownies. You can All right, so we have the group sends, and then the third way that you can send cards is what we call our scheduled sends. And scheduled sends are great for any business or anybody that has customers, because what a schedule send allows you to do is to create what we call a campaign. So maybe, let's say you get a new customer and the first card goes out immediately, and then maybe you want to touch them once a quarter. So every quarter you set it up for, you set it up once. So like the first card goes out now, the second card goes out 3 months later, the third card goes out 6 months later, and so on. I use campaigns all of the time. I love them. And excuse me, I purchased some, which are nice if you don't want to have to reinvent the wheel, but I love to create campaigns as well. So let's find, and you'll notice like some of them say 1-touch campaign, some are 6-touch campaign. So I'll give you an example of, let's see, this is okay. So let me think of which one would be a good one to show you. I'll show you this one. So this is a 6-touch campaign that I created for a customer of mine. And he said, I want to be able to touch my customers 6 times a year. So this is what we did. So the very first card goes out immediately. I'll look at that and kind of show you. It says hello. And then it says, hi, first name, hope your year is going well. Just want to check in and see. Now this is, let me back up for a minute. So this is a customer of mine. He actually has a kind of it's a consulting business for telecom. So he helps people set up their phone systems and install their internet and all of that. And we call this his, if you can see it here where it says VP, that's his vendor partner appreciation. So he has a lot of partners that are vendors that they might put in the phone system. How does that work? I don't exactly understand everything about his business, but he's got somebody on the front end that does something, and then they refer him. And so he wants to stay in touch with these people because they're feeding him business, if that makes sense. So he's already had these relationships for a while. So he said, I want to use this to touch my vendor partners. So I wanted to check in and see how we might be of continued help to each other. If you would like to schedule a phone call, please let me know. We appreciate our relationship with you very much and want to update you on some of our additional offerings we are now providing to our clients for added value. We would like to know about yours as well so we can continue to support each other. So that's the first card that goes out. Then he has a second card that goes out 3 months later that says, let's grab coffee. And, hope this finds you well, important to touch base with our partners regularly, and so on. 6 months later, we're always here for you. So kind of this one that just tells them a little bit more. And then he wanted to have a 4th of July card go out. So this one goes out, just let you know how much we appreciate you, our partnership. Happy 4th of July. So that one's going to go out on June 27th of this year. He has a December 3rd one that's a Happy Holidays card. And then we didn't get this one out in time, so this one will go out next March for St. Patty's Day. So it's just whatever you want. Some people want to touch their customers quarterly or 3 times a year or whatever you want. You set the intervals. And it's very, very easy to set up those campaigns. So I want to watch my time. I don't want to keep you guys on forever. Questions on the campaigns or anything so far?
I'm good.
Okay, you guys good? Okay, now I have to figure out how to get back to, aha, here we go. Okay, great. All right, so let me kind of, hopefully this will let us, okay, and then we hit submit. All right, success. All right, we did that. So this kind of shares a little bit about what I just covered. Is there's 3 ways to send cards. There's a heartfelt, there's the group send, and the scheduled sends. And so the option that you want is whatever is the right one for you. So I'll kind of, kind of walk you through. Oh, it's just going too fast. Okay, let me move this out of the way here so you can see. Okay, so the heartfelt is defined as a card that's sent with a unique heartfelt message to a single recipient with an immediate send date. So like those ones, thank you for meeting with me, happy birthday, Mary, good to play golf with you today, thank you for being my neighbor, whatever it might be. So that's a heartfelt card, immediate card that goes to someone with a unique message. A group send is a single send card that's sent immediately to 2 or more people. Holiday cards, invitations, anniversary, or announcements, and so on. And then the scheduled sends are like what I just showed you on that campaign, where you might send, 5 or 6 cards that go out at future dates. So those are scheduled sends. All right, are you guys clear on that? Because that's real important when we talk about pricing. Okay. All right, then just to let you know, we do have a lot of campaigns that are already built. Sometimes people say, well, I love the idea of doing the multiple touch, but I'm not very creative. So you can purchase a campaign, if you're in a niche market, maybe you're a realtor, you're an insurance agent, you're a car salesperson, and then there's a lot of generic ones, like if you're inside sales or retail sales, or if you're a cleaning company or whatever it might be, those kinds of things. So here's just an example of some of the kinds of categories that we have. We have many more, but just an idea there. Okay, so let's look at 3 ways, or the ways that you can get started. So we use what we call subscriptions, and I'm going to walk you through each of these just very quickly. We have what we call a basic. This is like a pay-as-you-go. We have an enhanced, we have a premium, and we have an enterprise. So let me just kind of just show you what we're talking about here. All right, so a basic account, we think everyone ought to have a basic account, if nothing else, because what that allows you to do is still save time and money from going to the store to buy a card. I don't know if anyone's bought a card at Hallmark lately, but they can be pretty pricey every once in a while, not very often. But I found myself in a Hallmark card store the other day. I told Dave, I said, don't let anybody see me. Because I needed a card and I forgot to, get one sent ahead of time, and I had to take one with me. And so I went in and I spent a lot of money on a card. So this is our most expensive, but you pay as you go, pay for what you need. $2.75 for a standard card. If you're going to do a group of cards to send to 20 or more people, you get a little bit of a price point break. You pay full retail pricing on your gifts. And then if you want to add pictures in, this is where it gets a little bit pricey, or add a picture onto a photo drop like some of the templates that we have, you're going to pay an extra $1 for those cards. So, but the most you'll ever spend on our cards is $3.75 for a card, plus postage. But still, I've spent a lot more than that when I go to Hallmark. You have a very limited relationship manager. I didn't talk about groups. I use groups a lot. I have hundreds of groups in my system. So I might have a group for my golf girlfriends, and a group for my, neighborhood, and a group for my family, and that kind of thing. You can't do groups, and you can't upload your contacts and all of that with a basic account. But it's a great way to try the system out, so it is a good option to get started. Then we have what we call our enhanced system. And this is kind of a pay for the system, or system as a service, I think they call it. Kind of like you pay for, so much for Netflix a month, or you pay so much for whatever a month. So you get access to the platform and all of the bells and whistles. And then you also get a discount on your card. So rather than the $2.75 a card, you pay $2.25 a card, $2 for a group send. You do get a discount on your gifts, so 15% on your gifts. unlimited relationship manager. So all the bells and whistles in the system. You get everything with the system, all card types. You don't have to pay extra if you add pictures to your cards and all of that. And you can do your multiple touch campaigns for $17 a month, and then you get a nice price point break on your cards and your gifts. Okay, questions on that? Okay, and by the way, there's no obligation. You can go from any plan to what I tell people is, if you're going to use the system and you know you're going to use it a lot, you can go from our 17 up, or the ones at the up down to the 17. I don't recommend going back to the basic, and the reason why on that is because you're going to panic and think you've lost all your contacts. When you're on the basic plan, your contacts are still there, but you have to type a person's name in order for it to recognize it, and you can't search for your contacts and that. I hope that makes sense. So 17 is a great starting point for somebody that thinks they're going to use it. We think about the basic as if you're going to send, 2 or 3 cards a month, the basic one is probably a good one for you. If you're going to send 2 to 3 cards a week, then the 17 is a nice price point for you. Then we have what we call our premium. And I go back and forth between the premium and the one after this that I'll show you in a minute. Right now I'm on the premium this month. Last month I was on the 147, which I'll talk about. For $97 a month, I get unlimited heartfelt single card sends, including postage, anywhere in the world. So I can sit on my phone or on my laptop all day long and send those cards one off at a time, create a unique message and send it to a person anywhere in the world. It includes the postage. I mean, if I tell people, try and get in the habit of sending 3 to 5 cards a day and really touching people's lives. And then this is a very economical way to go. Where it says $1.75 for group sends and scheduled sends, those are not heartfelt cards. So if I'm going to send a card to a group of people, I'm going to pay $1.75 plus postage for those. I do get a 30% discount on all my gifts, so that's really nice. It also includes what we call loyalty rewards. So every month I'm on the 97, Send Out Cards credits me with 10 loyalty rewards, which I can use for group sends or scheduled sends. So as an example, some people will stay on the 97 a month, and they try and hold back on their loyalty rewards. And if they get 10 a month, those accumulate. When they're ready for the holidays, they've got a lot of those free cards that they can group together and send out. So that's kind of a nice feature as well on that. Questions so far? Anything you want to ask about on that? Okay, Lisa, is it making sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. Denise, what about for you?
Fine.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then the 147 is our enterprise account, and that's really great for a business that says, yeah, we want to touch our customers. We want to be able to do more than just the heartfelt cards. And so this includes not only the unlimited heartfelt single card sends, including stamps, as many of those a day as I want to do. It also includes 100 free cards toward my group sends each month. So when I'm on this one, like as an example for Valentine's Day, I wanted to send a lot of Valentine's cards to friends and family and some of my customers to thank them. So I got 100, and I could do any combination. So, 25 to my customers and 20 to my top affiliates and, 10 to my family or whatever, any combination. I always tell people, when you're on the 147, you want to make sure you're using those 100, because these do not accumulate. You still get your loyalty rewards, your 10 every month there, but your 100 free group sends. So really what you're doing, if you go back to the 97 here, I'm sending as many heartfelt ones. So when you go forward for the extra $50 a month, I've got 100 cards. So I'm paying 50 cents a card for those, plus postage. You do pay postage on the group sends. But it's a great way, and I go back and forth between those two. Now, I'm going to just very quickly just kind of wrap up here because I want to save time for questions and all. But I do want to let you know that for those that want to do a lot of the scheduled sends, where you want to touch your customers several times a year, we also have added what we call our Elite and Elite Plus package. And this is probably more than you want to know now, but just know, and Bev can go over it with you if you have a need or a question on it. The Elite package, you buy 500 touches or 500 cards, if you will, for $625. That gets your price point down to $1.25 a card plus postage. I had somebody just the other day that bought the Elite Plus. They wanted 1,000 touches, so 1,000 cards. You have 12 months to use either of these here. And that gets their price point down to 99 cents per card. And then so here's the deal. This, again, whatever is right for you. This particular customer of mine is not a touchy-feely kind of person. So he said, I'm not going to use the heartfelt cards. I just know it. You know, I mean, yeah, I should be, but I'm not going to. So what he's on is he's on the $17 a month one because he gets all the bells and whistles and he can do all the group sends and that. And then he buys the Elite Plus. And when the one thing about this is, as long as he schedules these, then he can send that heartfelt card occasionally, but he schedules it to go out tomorrow instead of today. And then that way it counts at 99 cents a card, if that makes sense. That's the only difference is you're scheduling these. So just, I tell people, if you're going to use one of these packages, just make sure you're scheduling it to go out tomorrow. Because if he was an example, let me show you just very quickly, on the, whoops, where did I go there? I should have gone down. Okay, here we go. So as an example, if he is doing just a heartfelt card and he's on a 17 a month, he's going to pay $225 because it goes out immediately. So I just tell him, just stay on your 17 for him. He bought the Elite Plus, and then he schedules a card to go out tomorrow rather than today, and it comes out of his pack of his 1,000 cards. So if that's a little confusing, don't worry. You know, Bev can help you if you decide you want to do something and you have questions about it. And then there are a couple of add-ons. You can add on your personal handwriting font and 4 signatures for $49. That's a one-time cost. The Essentials pack not only includes your handwriting font and your 4 signatures, but it includes 6 campaign cards that are ready to go. They're in white and they're in the black. We found that most businesses have a need to say thank you, nice to meet you, or let's look at what we can do, kind of a next step thing. And so these are already developed. They're loaded into your account. And if you buy one of the Elite or Elite Plus package, this comes with that package. So you save that $99. So again, that may be more than you want to know, but it gives you an idea there. And then the only other thing I want to share with you, which is pretty cool, again, if you see a good movie, you want to tell people about that. This is the same way we feel with our system. That's the only way we go to market is through our affiliate program. And so for an extra $59 a year, you can be an affiliate, and like Bev and I are, and then when you send out cards with someone, then you get a % of all the cards and all the gifts that they send. So it's a great way to be able to get your own cards paid for. In fact, speaking of paid for, and that'll be a good place for us to kind of maybe end and open it up for questions, we have something called paid for. And what that means is that if, let's say you come on at a $17 a month subscription as an example, and then you find 4 customers that are also on a $17 a month subscription, you're going to earn 20% of your own cards and gifts, plus 20% of all of your customers' cards and gifts. So if you have 4 customers that are on the same subscription as you or higher, yours is paid for. And then anything you add on top of that just is gravy. So, some people say, all I want to do is get my own cards paid for. Some say, I want to earn enough to pay for, my car payment or my cell phone payment or whatever. You can continue to grow and create some nice residual income. So it's a great way to just be able to take a look at what you want for your dreams and that, and then whether you want to get an extra $200 a month or $500 a month or whatever it is for you, or just get your cards paid for, you can do that. So I covered a lot. Let's stop for a minute and ask questions. And Bev, you may have questions after what I went through.
Well, I do have one question to start. Is on the elite subscriptions, does that have to be used in a certain amount of time?
Great question.
1,000 cards or the 500?
Yes. So the elite, you pay $625 for 500. 12,
right there.
Yeah, 12 months. You have 12 months from the time you purchase it to use up those cards.
Okay.
And what one of my customers just recently, they started on the elite, and then what they realized very quickly was that they had a lot more uses for it than they wanted. So when they used up the 500, because their wife is also using it, and for some of their, their Christmas cards and for her birthday and that kind of stuff. So then they purchased the Elite Plus the second time because that made more sense to them. So yeah, you've got 12 months to use that. The counter starts when you purchase it, and then you've got 12 months to use those cards. Yep. So it's really, whatever makes the most sense to kind of think about, how do I want to use this? How often do I want to use this? How many cards do I think I'll send in, a year's time, or even in a month's time? And because you can start anywhere, you can start and then go back down or go back up, depending upon what works for you.
Okay, I think just one question on if you go to the $17 one, say postage is not included. What typically is the postage on some of these cards?
Yeah, great question. Postage is currently, now it was 50 cents until sometime in February or March, and then the Postal Service, it's the cost of a first class stamp. So currently it's 55 cents. It went up 5 cents this year. So and so, like, as an example, and that's kind of a cool thing too, in the $97 a month one, when postage went up, Cody did not raise the price of our $97 or our $147, which includes the unlimited heartfelt cards with the postage. So postage is, but on the $17 a month one, it's 55 cents for postage.
So Lisa, right now I have the $17 a month. And I just sent Jason a birthday card yesterday, and it's $2.80.
Okay, and did you drop your picture in there too?
Well, that does include the pictures on this one. You don't pay anything additional for pictures. So, so I actually put, I think 4 pictures, either 4 or 5 pictures on it.
With the same price for everything?
Yeah.
Same price.
So, okay.
$2.80. And then he got brownies.
Oh, you make me sick. Okay.
He got brownies.
All right, I'm done with this call. Goodbye.
You never know what might be in the mail.
Oh, you stop it. Don't you dare. I don't need it. Look at this. I don't need it.
Oh, the brownies are so good. Oh, gosh, they really are delicious. Oh, gosh. Great question. Thanks, Beverly. Lisa or Denise, do you guys have other questions?
I don't have anything at this time.
Okay. All right. Lisa, do you see, I think you have a commercial cleaning business, I think. Is that right?
Yes.
Do you see how you might use this with your customers and things?
I do. I'm just starting off. So, it's something that I'll talk more with Bev. And she did talk to me about this. So, it's very good the way it was explained, and just now looking at it. So it makes a lot of sense.
Sounds good. Well, Bev, what I'm going to suggest you do is when we get off the phone, if you have, I assume you have Lisa and Denise's cell phone number, and just send them the link for the app. And then that way you guys can download it. If you have an iPhone, you'll go to your app store. If you have Droid, you'll go to your Google Play Store, download the app, and then just play around with it. And you can send your first card just on the basic account. You can stay on the basic forever if you want, but at least you'll have access to using the app and see how easy it is. So I think you'll find it to be real easy. So.
Wonderful. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much. I'm sorry we went a couple minutes over, but I want to just thank you for being kind and just very accepting of me and coming off of the golf course. And I look like I've got
fun.
Well, and I thank you guys because, and Paula, thank you too, because this really did help me just kind of go back and frame a presentation in my mind. And then your questions, Lisa, helped too. To help me think of things that if somebody asked me something, so it would be helpful. I have one customer that purchased the Elite program, and Paula has been my lifesaver in that. So
well,
I want to get better at answering questions.
We're all a part of the same team, and so that's what's fun. I love doing this kind of stuff, Bev. So anytime, and thank you for pulling the group together. And you guys just get back to Bev with any questions you have, okay? And Bev, it might take me a little bit of time, but I'll get the link uploaded so that I can send that to you.
Yeah. Okay.
So, okay.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Hey, thank you guys. And I hopefully you'll get brownies.
Oh, dear, you never know.
No. Michael will eat them. Michael will eat them.
Well, okay.
All right. See you guys.
Thank you.